When we get started, I'm going to use the restroom back. Oh, but we can use.
Christina, can you hear us?
No,
Yep.
Perfect.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I call the meeting to order. We have approval of tonight's short agenda. Make a motion for the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we're rolling into the 2026 Myth Festival discussion. This is more like open dialogue like we had last year, Don. I think we met in January last year. And this is just to kind of get from a town perspective of what you guys are doing, new things, ideas before you put your permit in. If there's anybody that has anything to say or want to discuss from last year, Joe with logistics for stuff, it's all kind of relevant. The police are needed for anything. So we can kind of start. Have you guys started the permit yet? Christina, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You guys already start the permit process?
I didn't do the permit because we were discussing different options for possibly expansion. We have some ideas. I don't honestly know that we necessarily need it with just the vendors that we have coming in. We have an idea, but I think we're going to go ahead and file the permit just the way it was last year. Possibly. I mean, maybe we have some new exciting vendors that we need to squeeze in, but we think we have room for that.
I think that's my opinion personally. I haven't really talked to anybody else about it, but trying to maybe perfect what you had and some of the spaces you had to try to tweak it for more than just a year, in my opinion, would be probably a good thing. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta see what works, what doesn't, and then if you need to add on after that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily a 1 year process. It's going to be a 2 or 3 before you decide to make that change. Plus water and power. I don't know if that's going to work down those side streets, like we kind of talked about with the dare.
Right.
So,
Well, the idea with expansion would be like, okay, we have vendors that don't use electric, which we do have, would be like put them in the expansion area that doesn't have additional electric. So, but I don't think we need it. I think we're okay. I think we have room to add some new fun vendors. And so I think we're going to just stick with the way it was.
Potentially rounding out Norway and Field too with some of these open spots. I know we discussed kind of some of the car traffic that's there for the vendors, limiting that.
Absolutely.
And cutting some of that out, and then that would free up and some spots around the walkway that you could potentially utilize. So
And Deb did have more vendors down there, but with the weather prediction that we had vendors back out last minute. So there was actually more people supposed to be down there than there was.
Like 3, right? Am I right? There was 3 of them that decided not to come at the last
I
minute.
don't remember how many. Yeah.
3 vendors, you mean downtown, like in the
No.
In Norway.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, our
Downtown,
Yeah.
downtown Norway.
downtown Norway. Yeah. There's like 3 that, you know, were just setting up tents, basically doing advertising type stuff that ended up not showing up.
Okay.
And part of we have questions about Norway is there a statue going up? Like, can we do a walkthrough and kind of get a visual of what that's going to look like before she starts booking people? Because, I mean, I think that's a big question mark for us.
yeah, we definitely could do that, Christina. I know talking with Chrissy, the artwork location is going to kind of be to the back of the stage to where that bench is. And you've got that mulched area with some trees. There's going to be a small concrete pad behind that area, which will hold the artwork.
Is the big pine tree coming down right in the middle or no?
No, it's not at all. And I know I got Chrissy a map of actually the location where that artwork's going to be. It shouldn't affect anything you guys are doing whatsoever.
It could be hugging that little area. There's trees on one side. That's the bench. The other side to the west is going to be where the concrete pad is for that sculpture. So it'll be hugged like the eastern edge of it, be right off of where that mulched area is.
Is that where the water spigot is as well?
Not sure if that's it, but I know there's electric in that little area.
Water over closer to the.
There's a couple spigots. There's one in that area.
one
There's one by the tree. There's but I came and got the thing, and it was after our meeting, so I haven't had a chance to talk to you. But looking at that, it's really, from what I remember, it's going to affect the orange fence for you guys coming through there. You know, like distance wise. So I guess once we get an idea of what the statue looks like and you know how much space around it is going
Are you
So-
talking about like the orange fence at the back of the stage?
How far does that one fence usually come off the back of the stage?
We have to have enough room behind the stage. The guy that runs the sound all weekend, he parks a camper there.
Mhm.
So we have to have room for that.
Hold on a second. That's gonna be my next point.
And then, the vehicles going in and out, unloading and reloading.
Right.
So who parks the?
The guy that, he has all of his PA systems set up on stage all weekend. And he stays there so that he's not loading and unloading and
Cause I feel like there's too much of that where there was always commercial up there. And there.
And there
for way
is,
too
but you
long.
gotta think when you have a band coming in, there's 5, sometimes 5 players. And they have to get their equipment there because they bring their own drums. And then they usually have their own amplifiers and their own guitars.
Yes. It's a lot
So
of
they
it.
have to get their vehicle in there to be able to unload. And then, like on Saturday, once they get in there, they're not going anywhere because
Like
there's no
2
place to
hours
park.
unload.
We
Or
have had
reload
this
and go home.
discussion though, and I think we would like to utilize the gators and stuff that we have better for the vendors. So that doesn't really have any impact with the musicians coming in and out. That's something that kind of has to happen. But as far as the vendors and the VFW and all those people driving in and out, like that's not going to happen anymore. We're going to have a gator. Okay, this is the Norwing gator. One of our volunteers is going to be running for whatever those people need. So we can't cut back on anybody driving down there because they kind of need to for the music stage, but for everything else that is a no-go anymore. Like we're going to have gators for that.
But usually the music people are in behind that fence. Their vehicles are, because like this band will end, so these guys will back out and then the new guys will pull in. Sometimes it's musical chairs for a few minutes, but
So
it's usually in that area.
I think the only, and it's sort of crude, but where that grove of trees is, the bench, here's the big pine tree. Your fence would literally just go around where if it cuts through that area, it would just, I mean, the pad, I don't think the pad,
4 or 5 feet.
5, 6 feet at the most of a pad, hugging that tree area.
Close. That's why I didn't know how much space.
Yeah, and if that orange fence, I could see it just having to do
And the way,
this basically.
Fine.
And not a
Good.
ton.
the way
It's
that
not gonna be a
mulch and the
big-
trees are too, it almost kind of creates like that.
Yeah,
Kind of
you-
allows that concrete pad to be recessed into it a
Yeah.
little bit. So
And it's gonna be taller than
yeah,
it
I don't
is.
think it should cause you guys really any
Yeah.
issues at all. And we can walk it though tomorrow if you'd
Absolutely.
like. I mean, to kind of show you where we're thinking.
With the vehicles though, I don't think the bands were ever the problem. It was,
No,
it was the vendors, well, several of the vendors down there just.
A lot of it is the Legion guys.
Correct.
Yeah,
Let's
they just
face
pull
it.
in and park and don't move their cars.
And
'cause
there's
they have
always
a van.
15 guys hanging out there, even if they're not working, they're just hanging out there while they hold their car there. And that's always been the issue. It hasn't been the bands at all. That's not.
I mean, even if they are working, to me, once their booth is set up and once their refrigerator and
Yeah,
everything
right.
is set up.
Yeah.
There's no need for vehicles to be right there.
No.
Same way with by the music,
Mhm.
I think, but.
Well, the problem
I agree.
is they have a quick switch. You've
Right.
got 45 minutes when this band stops to the next band starts. So these guys that are coming in are unloading their equipment before this band is done
Gotcha.
at the
Yeah.
back of the stage. It's
It would actually create more traffic to pull them out and pull them back in
Yeah,
and keep doing
it's
that. It
like
actually would
musical
create more.
chairs.
But I feel like that's easy control. Like we know when the bands are switching, it's everybody else that we just can't
Right.
allow anymore. Like they just need to know like listen, we have volunteers. If you have a physical condition, you can't get over to the VFW, like we will move you. Like we'll take you over there. I think that's fine. I think it'll be all right this year.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately you're trying to put not any some other vendors down there. You can't really do that if, you got cars, in and out there.
Well, and then you had like the dunk tank last year, that was kind of dangerous because the dunk tank's set up here and they're traveling back and forth. And, kids are kids. I don't care who they are, they're kids. And it's just not safe. And we have to, I think if we play it off that it's just not a safe environment for people to be moving their vehicles back and forth. We have to do it.
I have some ideas, because I know in the survey that we had sent out, one of the things was the sidewalk is congested, and okay, that's, obviously we're vendors down there, that's part of it. So rearranging the layout, but we're limited a little bit because of the power, where it's at, but I feel like we can still move it several different ways, and we could just tighten it all up, like close to the center, to where then there is no room for vehicles or anything back there. And then
Using the grassy
it's a
area
lot more
more.
there.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
we talked about, what if you turned it around and then made the inside with picnic tables and,
I think we talked about that.
things like
I
that.
think we kind of looked at it and was like, what about doing this?
Yeah. And then, I had another idea of if we kind of cut it across, but some of it's going to depend on like the Legion because of the A-frame and how far we can stretch that. And if we can shift them down and, we need to ask Eric or Jason, how far can they go and maximize their power? That's all kind of thing. So
Where they run off power.
and crock pots, roasters, whatever for
Yeah,
their,
because you have the Legion and then you
Yeah.
also have the auxiliary, which is right at the end.
right. Yeah, all that. So, and they kind of take up that whole A-frame. So it's kind of like, how far can we move that? Still give them all the power that they need and stuff. So, I do have ideas. We just haven't been able to.
It's something you kind of need to put eyes on. We need to go down there and walk it when it's nice.
But we're on the right track.
Okay, what else do you have on your list, Christine? Anything?
1,000 things. I don't know. I guess I was really looking
Well,
for this.
let me better ask a better question. What's the top items that you want the town to help you with?
Oh, what I want help with? You got money?
From the town of North Judson, and we don't, we're broke, so.
I don't know. I don't know that there's a specific ask we have from the town. I feel like we were on the right track last year. I think we have good ideas for this year. We're trying to work on what the feedback that we got last year. I think that's what I was looking for this meeting, is what feedback you guys had for us so that we can kind of roll that into the ideas that we had, since right now that's really this is the time for us to be hearing all of that stuff. So
Yeah, I think the hard part for me personally, and I'll just speak for myself, these guys, any feedback I gave was probably in last year, August. And I
Yeah.
probably may have some notes somewhere that I wrote down after the Midfest, but
yeah,
I mean, really to go back, I can't remember stuff off, that was August, last year. So I don't really have anything specifically unless somebody else has something they remember that was.
Feel like just small tweaks, everything was on the right track, like less cars in your lane, maybe utilizing, it's nothing crazy on my part.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything that was like.
I don't think there's anything earth shattering.
Well, I do like the fact of refining this year, because I feel like last year we did so much, as you guys did so much, you really did, to where we just kind of threw it all out there and was like, let's hope it works. Well, we know it works now. So now we can really, I think, sharpen some things up. And I think this is a good year for that. And I'm glad, I don't want to say I'm glad we're not expanding this year, but I kind of am. Let's tighten this thing up. Let's figure out what we want. And I think, and then the year after is the 50th. Then
Right.
once we get this tightened up, then now we can go a little bit bigger. Let's figure
Right.
something out then.
So maybe that's the cycle, you guys made some changes, give it a couple of years, 2-3 years, made some
And then boom.
minor tweaks in those 2 years, and then, okay, maybe that third year, all right, here, we're thinking something big that we want to change, and then make the change, and same process, every few years doing something just, where you're not throwing so much and run your guys ragged,
Well, that's kind of the goal with the feedback sorry, Donna, is every year is we want to hear the town's feedback. It's the North Judson Mint Festival. We want to hear what the community has to say. We can't fix everything that every single person thinks. We just can't. But I think it's a good idea to take that feedback into account and let people know that we're trying to work on it. I think that makes people happy, even if we can't fix all of the things. We're trying to fix some of the things that they want. So
Just the idea that we're meeting, like at least twice a year between us and you guys, just to have these conversations is like better off than they were before, right? So, 3 or 4 years ago, that wasn't a thing. So that in itself is a big deal. We're 7 of us, we talked about how we see our 7 different views, and we're not in the middle of everything like you guys are. So I think anything that Alex or Linda or Andrew or Joe or Josh or Eric or myself have perspective is always nice, whether we make the change or don't make the change. I think perspective is always nice to see different angles, especially different age groups. That's very important. Start with someone who's young, like Alex. He's probably the youngest one here. But then, then it goes to Linda and then Josh. Yeah. So
Is Terry exploring any band things that he may assist us through the town with?
That's why I said save your money, because he really wants to do something
Next.
big. Yeah, because things that he checked into this year was just like, okay, that's totally out of our budget.
Sure.
But we're hoping and we probably have spent more this year than we've spent, not last year, but in previous years.
Sure.
But he has out of West Virginia, they have a country band coming in on Friday night. They weren't available on Saturday. And then there's a local band that's opening for him, which is pretty popular. So, and then on Saturday, we have 3 bands. So there's a local band, and then we have a all-girl. It's called Hysteria. It's a Def Leppard tribute band, all girls, which is pretty neat. And then Saturday night would be Aftermath, which is also a very well-known band. And then on Sunday, right now, the only one we have is Lomax. And hopefully, we're working with the school trying to get maybe the garage kids on Sunday.
cool. So I believe in the past, like prior to last year, I remember it's been a while. Did the band start like 1:00?
They do, but the sun,
Still do. They still do.
no, they did. But the sun is so deadly at 1:00 on the stage, and there's nobody in the stands.
And no trees
There's nobody in the grandstand.
We don't have those trees on top of Norway anymore.
No. So we started them let me get this straight, 3:00. 3:30.
Some ideas we've kicked around is trying to have something for families, possibly earlier in the day, like Sunday. We've been discussing some kind of kids entertainment to get those families down in Norway before the band start, before the parade goes. The Shamrock Shuffle is a dance that the elementary school has, and they have a handicap guy, and his dad drives him around and he DJs, and he does kid-friendly music. My kids love it. So we talked about reaching out to him, seeing how much he costs, but having like a kids dance party, something we haven't done before, something that's family friendly, gets those people down in Norway, just something different that we haven't tried before. And they've also done country, which everybody has been screaming at us for, is to have a country band. So Terry, begrudgingly, I know how much Terry loves country music. He booked country because everybody's been asking for it.
So we've always had bands at work, right?
We haven't done the 1:00 stuff probably for, I'm gonna say maybe 5 or 6 years.
Sun hasn't changed, right?
No.
We did it for 20 years prior to that, or was just those trees up there always
Because
blocked?
there's nothing there blocking.
Okay, so then after that happened, was there just a decline? Cause I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, because there's no place. A lot of times that even though they're not drinking, we would allow them to come in as adults to come in and sit in the beer garden area because we had all the trees over there. And they would sit there and enjoy the music. Well, now if they don't bring a tent,
So after the trees were cut, then the decline came.
then the
I
decline.
just don't remember that. Maybe you might know.
It
From
is
a food vendor standpoint, we noticed it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
talked
Yeah,
about.
I'm not saying it's not legit. I'm just saying
Yeah.
from the beer garden patron
And
in the
last,
past, I just remember just did it.
last
Yeah.
year, we had checked into getting like some of those
Shades.
aid sales. Okay, well, those are like way too expensive, so we gotta come up with something else, so you know, maybe that's something that
We
the town,
talked about that as a town.
Plan
They're
for
like-
that as
We,
part of
yeah,
it.
we looked into it to put shade sails around the top of Moore Lane.
6 figures, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was closer
Well,
to $250,000, yeah.
Yeah. We talked about putting
Mhm.
like the tents up there and then just, you know, with the pop-up legs to where you could adjust them, but then if the wind kicks up a little bit and one of them comes forward, we're all in trouble. Yeah, so can't really do that. I think it's just. I mean, we have to, and I know they're changing the way the pageant's doing, so it could be maybe we could do like the healthy baby thing over there during that time, just the front part of the stage. I don't know. It's kind of, haven't really figured that out yet.
I just didn't take into account how much that, I guess, that trees really played
Oh, yeah.
that.
it did.
Which I know that it did because it was warmer there, but not to the point where you wouldn't have. these-
Instead of putting
I
up one
guess,
tent,
I don't
we put up
manage that, so.
4 tents to cover the beer trailers because otherwise they just die there. It's pretty warm.
I know one thing, the graveyard looks amazing without.
It does look nice without the tree.
There is I guess, a silver lining to this. It looks really nice now. So.
And when the wind blows, we don't have to worry about what's gonna fall down on us.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of work went into that. It doesn't.
Is it something though that maybe we could get like wood structured
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
instead of like the shade sails or whatever those are called? Like.
Yeah,
some kind of
most of,
lean-to type.
most of the stuff now is all metal. Metal and then obviously
Yeah,
the
there was
canvas.
pillars and
Yeah.
everything, I think.
Yeah, it
originally.
was, they
Like
had
what's
some-
over the stage.
Stage
Oh,
itself.
yeah, it was gonna be, we looked at that along there. I
Yeah.
think that was.
That
the
would be
original.
beautiful.
It would be.
Yeah.
Yes, for that.
Find somebody rich, right?
Exactly right.
Need a benefit.
So speaking of music, then for next year, we're wanting to really knock it out of the park and obviously budget money. Is the town willing to help with that? I know that you were last year, but what kind of dollar amount would you want or name some type of bands that you would want to see? What kind of
I'm
help?
not sure you guys will.
Oh, I don't know. That's, I'm just asking a question. That's
Simple. Same though, right? It's all the same money.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much they cost, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't.
So this last night, I think Mark Chestnut's $25,000.
Yes.
So, I mean, like that's a hit, a lot of hits in the early '90s, right? So,
'90s.
yeah. So, I mean, like somebody like him would be,
You're
you
easy.
know, you guys could be in your, that could be like partially in your wheelhouse, you know, right?
So-
There goes the budget.
Well, and that, I had a budgetary question too to ask.
Sure. Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess we'd have to see.
Where's the nips go?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Alex? I don't want to be like, what decisions like this. What's your thoughts? Like,
I just don't
Linda,
have
guys,
any
feel free
clue
to
how
speak, you
much.
know?
I have no clue how much any.
Yeah, but
any
what's
was
your
before.
feelings on the town contributing to that though? How about that?
I mean, I'd be okay with it.
Linda?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
I think he's looking more like a popular, and I don't want to say rock and roll, but more southern rock maybe style, something, but he's got a couple promoters that we've dealt with through our abate stuff that is looking at some of the higher end bands. Because those you almost have to book a year in advance.
Something that we've never done that I'm aware of or even considered is charging some sort of stamp in the hand for $5 to get in too. And that's something you could do because they do it at bars. You just have 2 people going around. If they're there before you start,
Didn't Huck do something similar
there
like
you
that?
go.
They did, and their first thing, I think worked out very well. But after that, I don't think it's been very successful. Because
You just got hit once.
when you,
That first, we only
when
get 50
you
at
are
once, right?
charging for a couple different things, how are you gonna charge for on the family side?
That was gonna be my question.
You can charge on the beer side, but how are you gonna charge for the people on the family side?
That's about.
Well, yeah, you fence it off right there at the corners.
Okay, but how are you gonna keep the sound in this area? They can go up top and they're gonna all sit
In
up
the
top.
graveyard, they want to go in the graveyard. Yeah, you just have some security up there just watching for people. And
You have it blocked off.
I mean, what are we talking, $10?
I mean, I think people would pay. You just gotta get someone that people will pay to
Yeah, I
come
mean, we're not-
see.
I mean, I'm not
Right.
talking about charging, I'm saying you get like a third of the cost. Maybe a third from the town, the third you got,
Yeah,
something like
it's help
that.
to cover, you know, if it's
15 a
if
person
it
or
raised
something
$5,000 gate fee.
$10 for
Just to help
children or
offset.
something.
Those, the set seats would be like VIP seats. And you could sell those as tickets.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely, there's, I guarantee you, it's packed on Saturday night somewhere. Most people would give you $10 to sit up there to eat their whatever, and you just stamp a little thing on their glow in the dark hand, and I mean, it just has to be managed. Again, it's has to be have volunteers at each area, and
Yeah, it would take more than just our little group to
it
do
would
that.
be, yeah. So I mean, again, that would probably, but I bet if you started asking volunteers to run it, I'm sure they get
And
some.
then we would have to have a whole lot more fencing than what we have. We would have to buy fence.
Hey, before we get too far down this vein, I think Donna has been trying to talk and Cheryl has a question as well. So can we?
Okay, let me see if I remember what I wanted to ask.
I wrote down what I wanted to say so I wouldn't forget.
Okay, so first of all, I agree with Eric that whatever input we have for this year that we need to get it together and organized to implement it for our 50th anniversary. Now, and 2, 3, 4 years down the road too, but especially for our 50th. Because that's going to be a really big deal, and we really need to concentrate on that and make it a big deal. And the other thing was, I had Theo from the grocery store. He had asked me, or he mentioned that he would like to see vendors on Wayne Street again. I'm sure because he benefited from the foot traffic. I told him that I would bring it up, so that it would be mentioned. I said, we'll have to see what can be done. Or even maybe if it was down Adair, that block of Adair, of course, that we can't hardly do that because it's a church. But he did mention that if there was anything we could do to get some of them, maybe even that block between Finger Huts and Pioneer Florist area, that would put some of it closer to his store. But he mentioned it to me, so I told him that I would check into it.
I think we could just tell him that he's welcome to put stuff outside the store. I mean, as far as where the parking is, people are walking by the grocery store. So if he wants to put something outside like he did before, I think he's still getting that foot traffic. He just maybe doesn't have he didn't have anything outside last year like he has in years prior. So maybe that's the answer. I don't think I want to split up the festival.
He needs to market it better, or he needs ideas to market it better.
Okay. Okay.
I think we're on a different road with this, where it's.
Okay.
That might have been, it's off the dock, I'm not sure.
Cheryl, what was your question?
Eventually, if we get big.
Yeah, I mean, yes, would it be nice to have the whole.
Well, we got
town
now
and
and
that?
swallow Lane Street again, sure.
If it
We're not there
grew to
yet.
be some major big deal, yeah, I mean, that's gonna be awesome. But yeah. Okay.
As Mint Festival treasurer, I wanted to ask this question because I figured it didn't hurt to ask, no matter what the answer is. But we recently received a bill from Corey Bussey for $10,000, which is a lot of money for us, for moving the electric poles last year. And I know that Chad is supposed to be talking with him to see about reducing that bill. So we have hopes that it will come in less than that in the end, but
Only 2 weeks ago, he was gonna call him and.
yeah. So anyway, it's a large sum of money for us. So I wondered if the town would consider splitting it with us.
I thought that was all done pro bono by.
I
Well,
think we
see,
all
that's-
were under that assumption, so I think that's where Chad is supposed to be.
That's
Following
where,
up
that's where
to-
some of this surprise came in, because we were not expecting this at all.
We knew when we got the electric panel, the last one that was in the church parking lot, that we were going to have to foot the bill for that because that was not part of what Corey had originally said he was going to do. But when we got the bill from Corey, the pole moving was also billed. So that was unexpected.
Yeah.
I think there was,
Quite
more than just that question though on that bill, from what I understand, right?
I mean,
There's more
I'm
questions.
guessing that
More
Corey,
than just an H panel and moving poles on that.
But I mean, I thought, I didn't even think that he did the poll. I think that wasn't,
We used the town's jetback to suck around those poles, and they lifted them out and they moved them where they wanted it. The town sucked the holes.
They helped a little bit, cause I mean, but I don't remember how much, but yeah, no, he's worked on.
And I don't know the scope of the work and I wasn't there. I just know we.
so once you guys get a definitive answer from Bussey's, on what was done, wasn't done, what maybe they made an error, maybe there isn't an error. Then maybe Chad can come present that to us here.
That would be
He's a
fine.
liaison, so he can come present that to us and then we can kind of move forward from there and see if we can potentially help with some of that.
If he can give us an itemized bill even, you know.
That's so
that-
much
He
the
did,
better.
he did give us an itemized
He
bill,
did.
Donna.
He
That
did.
was at the last meeting.
Yeah, the one I seen was an itemized one.
It was.
Yeah.
Because if the town could help pay part of the bill, that would.
But
Let's get it
we gotta
finalized.
we gotta finalize what we're talking about.
Right.
I had a lengthy conversation, probably 45 minutes we had about this. And he said, and he went through everything with me and told me, not sure about this. I don't think that was like that. Maybe this, but the understanding I picked up
We need clarification
was that
first.
we weren't even supposed to get a bill, and then Christina asked, and then we were getting a bill, but we're thinking it wasn't gonna be that expensive, and that it became.
That's what we thought too. So we were very surprised to get a
So we're on
bill.
the same page with that one.
I mean, in all fairness, as far as I'm concerned, we still had a ton of electrical work done last year for $10,000 that had to be done in order for the festival to look like it did. Now, I have no problem with the conversation being held with Corey about reducing the bill. But I think $10,000 for as much as we had done isn't out of the question. Like, I mean,
Okay, so-
if we have to pay
I'm not saying
$10,000,
it's a bad price. It's just a lot of money out of it.
So now, Joe.
that's what we
let's speak
fundraise
to
it
the other
for.
electrical company that booked us.
H&T.
Yeah, let's speak to that because we had listened to that and we had, I don't want to say listen to it, that's the wrong way to put it. We had how much worth of work done by them pro bono. They sent us an invoice and then they told us,
All in all, probably $50,000. And then they sent us an invoice for 11,000 that when we went to go pay, they waived it.
they said, don't even pay it.
Agency was.
So that's our kind of disconnect. I'm not saying that
And I
we
will
shouldn't have
say,
paid
one of
for
the
it.
things that kind of really picked H&T off was that Corey Bussey was doing things. And now now that we're someone's being charged for it is even more, kind of where H&T would have, I mean, no offense, I would have rather let them do the work and then paid them because they've already given us so much free.
Pro bono, right?
Yeah. So
Christine, I understand what you're saying. Like we did get a lot of work for free.
And
I'm
I
not
was
saying that
fundraising for
we
that,
won't.
like, specifically for, like, me and Chrissy were fundraising, specifically sending letters out for the electrical upgrades. We have a lot of money in our account, more than we had last year, specifically because we were looking for money for this. So I'm not saying that I don't think that the bill was more than we expected, because it was. That's not the impression that I got from him. Like, I knew we were gonna have to pay for the H panel, but that's why I was like, okay, this is what we fundraise for.
Yep.
So I mean, but that is my argument, is like, that's why we have so much money in our account, is because we
Yeah.
were getting money to make those moves.
I
It had
understand.
to happen.
100%.
Let's see what Chad can do and then we'll see what he can present and then maybe
And then
we
we'll,
can,
we'll go from there.
we can maybe help because we said along the way we would help too. So it's not like we won't. So
Absolutely.
we just want to make sure we're being fair, honest and equal. Okay, who else has a comment? Or I only have one other thing on my list. What do you have, Josh?
I don't have anything. Are you gonna continue the fireworks next year or not? If you're not, that's fine, but they will.
Are you doing you're doing fireworks this year?
Me, I'm not sure fireworks. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are.
What, really? Down, trying to get us right.
Town.
In Parkland.
Town. And work.
This program for what?
I think that's a big attraction.
What did we discuss? If we're gonna do the fireworks, remember we discussed
We did, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm.
about, instead of a 25 or 20-minute show, remember,
Minute show.
let's tighten this thing up to a
Yeah.
10-minute show. So,
It just needs to be like, and like, I even hate to say that. I hated to say it last year because
that was,
we absolutely appreciate the town sponsoring that, but I don't think that's something that we can foot the bill for as a festival. But
Yeah.
watching people leave the beer garden was hard because, you know, the band is not playing because this like that just went on for too long. So I mean, I feel like if they just condensed the show to 15 minutes, I feel like everybody gets bang for the buck. My kids aren't like they're after a long day at the festival, my kids are tired. You know, they're done. They're ready to go. And then the people in the beer garden, they're walking away from the beer garden and the Toys for Kids is losing money.
Josh, how would that cut the price down? If it went to a 10 or 15-minute show from what?
Well, it'd be the same amount of fireworks. They can only light so many at one
They
time.
do it all by hand.
Right.
So that's the problem. So I don't know if they're gonna want to do a 15-minute
I mean,
show.
I can ask them,
Yeah,
but
see-
you and I had somebody and I had a conversation about taking our pool of $10,000, doing something else with it. That's why I was asking.
Potentially
Potentially, instead of that,
fireworks.
yes.
People love the
Save it
fireworks.
for next year.
For next year.
Yeah, we'll find someone for you.
I will have that. No, I would agree with that. And I've tried to ask them to do that, but sometimes, you know, it gets lost in translation, but I will,
They can't do more quantity within, like, you can't say, let's have the same amount of fireworks in 20 minutes. I think it is, they're running as fast as they can. Joe, you witnessed.
Yeah.
You sat out there with a fire truck with your family.
Every year since it started, it's
Literally, there's a guy running.
There's two guys.
there's two guys, and all you see is them go boom, 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 moving back and forth, back and forth. They've got a sequence, and they work their sequence.
Yeah, and I mean, they're moving.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't, you know, it's,
They're hustling the whole time.
Yeah, and I
I'll
mean, like
get
I
with-
said, I hate having that complaint, like because everybody does love the fireworks, and I hate to complain about something that's given
No,
to
it's-
us. I just hate to
it's,
see.
it's legitimate.
maybe they could reduce the fireworks to a 20-minute show and see what they would charge for a 20-minute show.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the
I'll
best
call,
way.
this guy's a nice guy. I'll call him this week.
We just don't want to, we just don't.
I just don't want one at a time. No, I would agree with that.
What's the usual break for the band? I mean, is it 15 minutes or
Our
is it 20?
high-end bands, a lot of times, because they only play from 8, I think they start usually around 8, and then they'll play till 11. A lot of times, before we started doing fireworks, they didn't take a break,
Okay.
because they'll play 3 hours straight through. But usually 15, 20 minutes, that's 10 minutes is good, but it's like Christina said, at that time on a Saturday night, you know, everybody's, you know,
Right.
they're tired, they've been
Right,
drinking for a little bit. and-
9:30 now, you're putting stop
The
on.
other-
Right,
The
and
other
then they
thing-
don't know that the music is gonna start back, and when they start back, they only have another half
Yeah.
hour to play. So they're getting out of there before all the traffic, I
Right.
think is their thought.
There was a suggestion from some people with younger kids about maybe doing the fireworks a little earlier. Like the company wanted, what time do we do them now? 9:30?
9:20.
Yeah,
Oh,
right
okay,
around
we'll
there.
call it 9:30. They wanted it completely dark, and I agreed with the people complaining was maybe you could have them at 9. Maybe it might not quite be pitch dark, but it's
Do a 9 and
Dark enough.
15 and then.
and I
yeah,
agreed with
9:30.
that too. I'm like, yeah, you know, rather than drag this out of what's your guys.
Yeah, because our beer permit runs out at 11, so we have to shut
Literally
that
getting.
burn down at 11.
What was that?
How much is a drone show?
Drone show?
I don't know what that is.
It's free. It's free to call and browse.
Yeah,
I could ask them.
that's something we can do right over in Norway. That might be cool.
That would be cool.
What was that?
Drones, the
Oh,
drones in the air.
They can be really neat.
Because you could, yeah, you could turn it. I know they have to do it at the park because it's got the space, but that would be cool to do something facing the other way.
Something like
Yeah,
Okay, so, everybody, we got on that subject, everybody good, anything else for that? Okay, hey, Christina, do you have anything else?
I don't think so right now.
Okay, so anybody else have? anything? Here, you guys want to talk about anything else?
Um,
Eric? Yes, sir.
You mentioned about needing the police for anything and one meeting for and thank you for the passes for the Upkiss run Saturday morning. And it'd be helpful to have them then again to help either lead the race or help block traffic.
Yeah,
So that
Joe, maybe figure something with that.
Okay.
Yeah. If not, we maybe can ask if there's a firefighter available. If we don't, we have plenty of vehicles, Joe. So you want to put a firefighter in a police car, if we don't have available officers, we can have someone that can be there. If that's what you're looking for, just for a police vehicle.
And that's just for the run.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We have a police car we can roll out with that.
Didn't we talk one time? And maybe you guys knew this, Dan. Did you guys change the route last year? Or is it still the same?
We changed,
Out of town.
last year was different than what had been in the past, and we're gonna try to keep the same route this year as last year.
Okay, because you guys ran it in kind of mostly in town, right? Last year or not?
We actually
Yes.
limited the amount that was in town this year to include the trail more. To
Okay,
incorporate-
no, that's fine. I know there are people say, well, yeah, if it ran through like a neighborhood, you know what I mean? Some type of deal. I don't know if that's,
Especially with the trail.
but you got the trail. Yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I got a map, want to see where we ran last, or,
Oh, yeah.
we started at the water tower. And then turned on, probably run down Sycamore, Franklin, out the trail,
Okay.
back.
Yeah, no, that's
Right. In Franklin, you could use the new trail that's they extended the trail
Oh, okay.
behind, it's along the railroad.
Is that going to the rest park? Yeah. Or where's that?
Yes, yeah, turnaround is just about at Highway 10.
You don't.
Okay, so yeah.
We're not crossing 10.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, so that's good.
I'm good, Dan.
So they did expand the trail in the other direction, Dan, so that might be something for us to look at.
Exactly.
Control the other way. So
Yeah,
once
that's a great alternate route.
The only thing I
You
have,
circle back and then.
the only thing I,
The new trail.
I'm done. You're good. Anything pressing? Alex, Andrew,
You know.
Joe? The only thing I had a question about is where we're at with the pageant. I know that the pageant, there was there was a letter last year sent. Just want to know where we're at standing with that.
We had a meeting on the 28th. Apparently, we're taking the little darlings out of it to shorten the time of it.
We also changed the age groups. So the little miss and mister is 4 to 8, prince and princess 9 to
14.
14, and then 15 to 20 for king and queen.
So we're gonna
Where last year have been corrected.
we're gonna streamline the age groups, trim it down this year. We're gonna take those little kids, and that's gonna be a healthy baby contest. So the idea being, we're gonna take those people that love to drag their little kids out, and we're gonna have them at the festival. So let's find another reason to bring those people downtown for the festival rather than on a different weekend. We're gonna have a healthy baby contest, and then the pageant itself will just be 4 and up.
I like that. I like that idea a
That's
lot.
June 6th at the high school auditorium.
Just for the free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baby thing is downtown.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what we can.
so that's improved, we think? I think so.
I think so. That was the big thing is I wanted to cut down a little bit. There's too many categories. I think so simplify it. And that sounds like exactly what they
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
I think originally you guys had 9 categories, right?
Yeah, we had already chopped 3 or 4 categories out before the meeting on the 28th when they said, let's separate the darlings. Let's see, what nobody's understanding is it's gonna be double the judge payment. Because you'll need judges for the little ones, plus the budget. The price isn't going to be changed any, pretty much.
It
You're
is.
still gonna have to
because
get prizes for
cutting
them.
down- We're cutting down a lot of stuff. So it's gonna be fine. We're gonna cut down a lot. We're gonna have a lot less prizes.
Yeah, less prizes, less rewards. That's true.
Less time. Less time,
Less time.
it'd be 16-hour
Yeah,
days.
it's 60.
Well, see, we were there 10 hours last year, from setup to us tearing down. The other 3 hours, we don't know where that came from. We really do not. Because we showed up at 7:30, set up, we were gone, done, cleaned up, and gone by 5.
Sounds like we got a new plan this year, though. That's good. Try something different, right? Just like we changed things last year with,
Yeah.
and look what it did. Created a lot of income, which is what we needed, right? I met with Donna 4 or 5 years ago and tried to figure out how we could help. And we were operating in the red. I mean, I remember you were sitting right there when I came to the meeting. Now it's completely different story, which is
So when we
that's
had
what
the
the change is.
we had $148 was good, which is more than what we had
when we started.
Yeah.
But we also had 34 contestants total. And there have not been that many in it in years from what I'm understanding. And last year was my first year.
Doing it by yourself.
Did it by myself. That was all the advertising, the sponsorships,
Well, maybe you need help.
well, I got my own little committee right now that's
Good.
been helping me.
Should be helpful.
But I did not know nothing about it last year.
Here we are, right?
Yeah.
We'll keep getting better.
Last year was her first year as the director.
Less is more sometimes. Sometimes you'll see, I'm sure. Less work. Oh,
So on the tiny tots in those 3 age groups that we're doing away with, that's gonna be at the fair or at the festival. There was 16 contestants in that age group. So hopefully by it being all combined into the day that they're gonna be at the festival, hopefully that will increase. Because that's all your babies.
at the end of the day, the numbers shouldn't change as far as contestants because all you're doing is changing the age group. So
Yeah, and they're going up.
realistically, whether you have 34 with 9 groups or 34 with 3 groups and then healthy
Yeah.
babies coming down, that's the whole point of it, is to draw people to the festival at the end of the day.
Right.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. It's just we had started working on this back in September and already had the newspaper ready to go.
Yeah.
And and it's like, here we're going to throw everything out and start all over again.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be getting it out there March 1st, because May 1st is the deadline. So we've got 20 days to get the programming and everything in order. And now we're starting all over, not going to be able to get it
It's
out
going to
there
be
until at
time.
least the middle of
We have everybody on the Mint Festival trying to help. We all have to make changes. That's the only way things are going to get better, and taking accountability for our mistakes and fixing them. It's not hard to hear that you made a mistake. That doesn't mean you tried to make a mistake, but like we all did, we're all going to make more mistakes this year, and when we have to try and fix it next year. That's all we can do, is to just
All we can do.
trying to improve.
Hey, Josh, what do you have?
No, the only thing I was gonna say is I had a lot of compliments on where like the kitty tractor pull and stuff was there on Main Street.
Oh, that was awesome.
So whoever,
dog jump and everything.
yeah, the
Yeah.
whole works right there. So, that was kudos to whoever did that. I did have a lot of.
And we have a
Awesome
PA
work. That's
system
broken.
this year. Terry
Yeah,
and
we-
Deb
we-
bought a PA system, so we will actually have full festival communications this year. The pedal tractor pull will have a PA system to actually announce things properly this year, so it should be way better in that aspect.
Parade will have a lot better announcing for that stuff
Yes.
this year too. We learned a lot last year as well. So.
Good. Let's look at the other way. I thought you were like this, and I was facing on it. Okay, anything else from anybody else?
The only thing that I would like to add, vendor wise, is so far, and we've got a couple that still have to put in their application, but we're at 77 total.
Awesome.
And so about $9,500.
And that's 77 compared to how many when we were out here, you know?
I'd have to get in there.
That's right.
I do know, I can tell you, I just have to.
Just curious.
Last year,
Yeah.
we had, it was like 65.
60 something. I thought.
Yeah, because we're like,
We're already ahead of the
we're
game.
like an
Actually,
extra.
we're not gonna have any people run out of food this year too. That was.
Hey, don't, we don't run out of food.
We're gonna be
I'm
closed
saying
off.
generalizing. These
I
people that are
They
putting
didn't
these
know what to
applications.
expect, and so now they know. I think they were pleasantly
They
surprised.
can't underestimate how much we can eat. That's what they. You come down here.
Put it down.
We like a big-
Yeah, so, but that's exciting, so we're.
That's wonderful. Yeah, great.
No right now.
Great. All right, anything else? Do we have anything else we can?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thanks for everybody coming.
Appreciate it.